The dark figure quickly scurries across the basement, scaring Robbie out of there. Then it tries to open the hatch, and shortly after, aggressive knocking is heard at the door, but he finds nobody there. Real ghost or not, I'll let you be the judge.
If you look at the top balcony, you can see some sort of creepy entity peering down at the uploader before it slowly creeps its way back inside the cabin, while the uploader watches in complete shock and awe. Many people in the comments speculated that the figure might just be a curtain blowing in the wind. However, in a second video, the uploader revisits the spot and seems to debunk that theory by showing there are no curtains hanging in that area at all, making the original clip even more unsettling. Later, she walks us through the inside of the cabin and explains that a couple used to live there decades ago. The husband eventually passed away, and it looks like all of their belongings were left behind. The place feels frozen in time. If the figure wasn't just a coincidence or trick of the eye, then something unexplainable may really be going on. Whether it's the lingering energy of the previous residents or something else entirely, the vibe of this place definitely leans toward the haunted. Let me know what you think in the comments.
On the rearview dashcam, nothing out of the ordinary is seen. This left the couple deeply unsettled, unable to comprehend what they just witnessed. The front dashcam clearly shows someone or something appear beside the car on the road, but as the car passes the figure, it doesn't appear on the rear dashcam. At first they thought it was just dark and someone was standing on the middle of the road, but after what they saw on the dashcam, they aren't so convinced anymore, especially considering that this highway is notorious for accidents. They believe they may have seen a ghost. Luckily, Sabby was able to maintain composure after the sudden shock and didn't swerve off. Otherwise, this could have been Deep in the crawl space, he finds a pair of eyes which clearly seem to belong to the doll, Shelley. After all this, he decides to just put everything back in the box and leave it in the attic how he found it. But this time he sets up a security camera in the attic watching it, and after some time, it captures this. The box vibrates and moves all on its own, even though there's nothing else up there. Later on, he starts to hear something creepy coming from his basement.
See, a dark figure is clearly visible looking out the window of Josh's house. But when he rushes inside to investigate just moments later, he finds nothing. No sign of forced entry, no lingering presence. It's as if the figure vanished into thin air, like it was never really there to begin with. In a second video uploaded later on, Josh is simply trying to unwind when he hears loud knocking sounds coming from somewhere downstairs. Naturally, he grabs his phone to document what's going on, and it only gets creepier from there.
Not again. Hello? Hello? No, I don't think so. No. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
Downstairs, a light flashes rapidly, and even more disturbingly, a child's rocking horse begins moving by itself. The video ends shortly after, leaving us with more questions than answers. When taken together, these two clips paint a pretty unnerving picture. It's one thing to see a mysterious figure in a window, but to then have physical activity, noises, lights, objects moving on their own, suggests this might be more than just a one-time. A blanket is seen lying on the floor, and on top of it is a neat pile of tacks. No clear explanation, no apparent disturbance, just another strange and unsettling development. Some viewers have wondered if this could be a clever hoax or a series of staged events, but nothing about Liv's reactions or the way the clips play out feels overly dramatized. If anything, the rawness of the footage makes it feel even more believable. Whether this is a haunting, a prank, or something else entirely, this series definitely taps into something primal, our fear of being watched and of our own homes becoming unfamiliar. Let me know what you think. Is this real paranormal activity or just a very well executed setup? At around the 12-second mark, you can hear strange voices coming from his room, and about 30 seconds later there's a loud sound, possibly a door slamming, followed by a series of knocking noises. When he enters the room, everything seems normal at first, but that quickly changes.
I don't really know what I'm supposed to say. Oh, can you do that again? Fuck this.
Suddenly, the cup sitting on his dresser moves on its own. There's no one near it. Blackwing 96 is clearly stunned and stumbles on his words in disbelief. He nervously asks the spirit if it can do it again, and it does. The cup is knocked off the dresser and hits the floor, sending him fleeing in terror. Unfortunately, Blackwing 96 hasn't posted anything in over 14 years, so an update is unlikely. Still, the video remains one of those early internet uploads that stuck with viewers over the years. Some believe it may have been a clever setup, but there's something about the raw, unpolished nature of the footage and the genuine sounding reaction that makes it hard to shake. Whether real or faked, it's still one of the more memorable early examples of a so-called poltergeist caught on tape. A mysterious figure can be seen moving through the trees. It appears to be cautiously looking around, maybe checking if anyone's nearby. While it's unclear whether it noticed the person filming, it definitely seems to be alert to something. Could this be the elusive Bigfoot? The shape and posture certainly line up with common descriptions, though unfortunately we don't get a clear enough view to say for sure. Still, it's a fascinating piece of footage that's bound to stir up debate. So what do you think? Could this actually be Bigfoot, or is it just another misidentified figure in the woods? Even when he gets up to investigate, there's nothing visibly causing the disturbance. No one's behind the door, and there's no obvious draft or vibration that could explain the movement. Surprisingly, the man doesn't seem frightened at all, just visibly annoyed, calling the whole situation more frustrating than frightening. And honestly, that reaction is kind of refreshing. We're so used to seeing people scream and panic during paranormal events, but in this case, he's just fed up with it. Still, there's something particularly unsettling about this kind of occurrence in a brand new home. You'd expect this kind of activity in an old creaky house with a long history, not a recently built property, unless of course, the land it was built on has its own story to tell. Whatever the case may be, let's hope this strange doorknob activity stops soon, and that this guy can finally get some peace and quiet.